Chris Hassel and Amanda Guerra on CBS Sports HQ. This was actually supposed to be the part of the show where we discussed the whole Taylor Swift album drop, but I said, producer Noah, no. I know you
He's the one who wanted to do that.
Infatuation with her. We're not going to do that, so we settled on her boyfriend.
It is a very big week for the Swifties. We promised to actually keep this one about football, that is until after this video. Because Travis Kelce, Florida man Travis Kelce, if you will, turned into cover boy for GQ. There is an article. It's not just these phenomenal pictures of a man wearing a fur coat in the Everglades of Florida.
Are you talking about the actual coat or his chest hair?
You know, it kind of blends together. He does talk about his career, this upcoming season, life after football. He actually spent the summer in South Florida to reunite with his speed and agility coach, trying to get back to the production he was putting out a couple of years ago, admitting that he has slipped some in the past 2 years. What's your favorite look?
It's actually one that we didn't see in this video. It's when he's wearing that thing. He looks like, yeah, he looks like Razor Ramon.
Who?
From the WCW, yeah.
Oh my God.
Look at him.
All right, we're going to bring in someone who's going to bring us back down to earth. NFL expert Pete Prisco. We're not going to talk about the Swifties. We are going to talk about Taylor Swift. Oh my God, I just said it, and that was totally on accident, Pete. Travis Kelce and his career. Pete, in this article talking about the past 2 seasons, how he has slipped.
There it is. Look at him.
What? You're just talking about...
He looks like Razor Ramon.
Okay, because you were so distracted.
Well, you know what else? He needs to take his... Hey, by the way, guys, he needs to take his sweater off at the beach. Somebody tell him that.
What do you think, Pete, about this quote? My work ethic is such that I have so much pride in how I do things that I never want the product to tail off. And I feel like these past 2 years haven't been to my standard. I have such a motivation to show up this year. Is that true? And where do you think he's going to go this season as far as his production?
Well, you know, he's always worked out here down in South Florida with Tony Villani over the years, a guy up the road, and he was back there this summer, and that tells me that he realized the last couple of years haven't been to his standards for whatever reason, and he didn't look like he was in shape. Maybe at the end of your career, you go back and do the things you used to do, and you feel like you're in better shape. And so I think he had to do it. He's not the same player. He still had a productive season. He's just not the same player. And so it made a lot of sense for him to go back and get himself in shape and start focusing on football again, because he is coming to the end of his career.
He's got more hair on his chest than Pete's ever had on his head.
Bro. What is up with you today?
Well, no, back in the day, Chris, I actually had a lot of hair on my head, believe it or not.
Hey, Pete, let's play a little game, okay? Is it more name or game? We've done this with you before. I know you know the rules, but if people out there don't, Pete's going to tell us if this person is more name, just living off the name at this point in their career.
Name recognition.
Or still that game matches their name. And we're going to start with Travis Kelce, who has slipped a little bit at this point going into this year. Do you expect him to be more name or game?
Well, he's got game, but it's just not the same game. And so I'm going to say he's more name than game. When you hear Travis Kelce, you think of one of the best tight ends, if not the best pass-catching tight end who's played the game, and he's not that anymore. He's still a productive player. He's just not the same player. So I will definitely say right now in his career, he's more name than game.
Okay, Travis Kelce approaching the age of 36. He will turn 36 in October. Another person getting up there in age as far as football years are concerned, 33-year-old Keenan Allen, who is actually heading back to the Chargers after a very brief stint with the Bears. Headed back to the team he played for 11 years. Pete, what about him? Name or game for Keenan Allen?
More name than game. Another one of those guys. You know, look, the aging guys, they are usually more name than game. And one thing about Keenan Allen, he's been one of the best route runners this league has ever seen. So I don't think he's going to suffer from that standpoint. But, you know, when you get to be that age, you start slowing down. He's never been a burner. And when a guy who's not a burner starts slowing down, you start to see that production go down. So I think he's good to have on that Chargers roster. Justin Herbert knows him, knows what he can do. He's more of a possession receiver than he's ever been, so he's definitely more name than game.
All right, how about the burner, Tyreek Hill, who is coming off a season where he had his fewest receiving yards in 5 years. He basically said, I'm out, wanted to leave Miami, but still there with the Dolphins. Is he, this season, going to be more name or more game?
Oh, he's going to be more game. And look, he's another guy at the, coming toward the end of his career who wasn't as focused. He admitted that. I sat down with him when we were there for camp, and he said this is the most focused he's been in his entire career. He's in the best shape of his career. He's 188 pounds. So I asked him, why haven't you done it before? I mean, that begs that question, right? He just hadn't been as focused. I think he's focused this year. I do think he's going to be productive. I think he's going to put up big numbers. He can still fly. You saw that 10.15 that he ran in the 100 meters. I still think he puts the fear of God in opposition, defensive backs, coaches, everybody. So he's more game than name.
I appreciate that you said that he's in the best shape of his life because this next guy we're going to talk about, Deebo Samuel, is kind of like luring fantasy managers, saying I'm rejuvenated. He's now with the Commanders, not the 49ers anymore, saying that he is in the best shape of his life. So is Chris asked you with Tyreek, more name or game this upcoming season for Deebo?
More name, I mean, yeah, definitely more name than game. When you go back to Deebo, I thought he's been more name than game the last couple years. And, you know, you find out that he was sick last year. He had pneumonia at one point. He did get a little heavy and out of shape. He spent the offseason working out. They say he's in the greatest shape of his life. He's also on a one-year deal, so he's on a prove-it deal with the team. One good thing for him, he's getting opportunities because Terry McLaurin's not around. He's not taking part in practice. So that's good to build a relationship with Daniels. But no matter what, he's not what everybody thinks he is. He's good at breaking tackles. He looks thick. I know he might be in the best shape of his life, but you saw that video right there. He looks very thick for a wide receiver. He's definitely more name than game.
He's more than just a wide receiver, though, too, at least if they use him the way the 49ers did a few seasons ago. Let's get to a quarterback. We've talked all pass catchers so far. Aaron Rodgers, 4-time NFL MVP. It's tough to be as much name when you've done that at this point in your career. Now with the Steelers, is he going to be more name or more game?
Well, he's more game. And you know, people, he's not the same as he was. I mean, nobody's going to sit here and say you could be the same guy you were in your prime. But you go back to the end of last year when he started looking healthy again. He had a very productive end of the year for the Jets. Threw a lot of touchdown passes. Look, he threw more touchdown passes than Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, C.J. Stroud, a bunch of guys last year. And it was an off year for him. I think getting to Pittsburgh and being healthy, he'll definitely be more game than name. It's just not going to be the same game, but it's going to be more game than you would expect from a guy his age. Rodgers is still a productive, good passing quarterback in this league.
I think that's the first one where I disagreed with him.
You disagree?
You're
saying
so?
Rodgers is done?
No.
No, I'm not saying he's done, but like you know the name Aaron Rodgers, and it's just about the
well, like Pete said, you can't live up to.
You are entitled to your wrong opinion. You are entitled to your wrong opinion. Can't live up to what he was
in his prime, which is a 4-time NFL MVP. I don't think anybody expects him to be that, but Pete expects him to be pretty good.
Pete Prisco, more name or game?
That's a good question because Pete, is it year 25
Absolute
for you
game.
this year
We have one more player to get through.
Okay.
You can. We're gonna come back
You're
to
the
that.
one that mentioned it.
I know. That's
you
my
asked
fault.
me the question.
It's my fault. I'm sorry. Pete, one more quarterback to talk about. Kyler Murray. Obviously, as a Sooner, I am biased here. More name or game?
He's definitely more name than game right now. And I think he's at a crossroads. You know, he didn't play great down the stretch last year. Very concerning. Where is he in, you know, year number 7? And again, he's been in this offense for a couple years. This is a big, big, big year for Kyler Murray. He's got to prove to people he's worth that money. He's got to prove to people that he can become the quarterback that everybody thought he could be when he was the first overall pick. So I will say definitely right now he's more name than game, but he can change that narrative with a big year this year.
Prisco's definitely more game. Right? He gets better with age.
More game.
Yeah. Into his 60s, he just he keeps setting the bar higher, even though he gets shorter and shorter each year. Thank you, Pete.
And you wait. You will too.
Oh my gosh.